Well, good afternoon, everybody. We have a tough game coming up here Sunday afternoon. East Tennessee State has all their really top players back this year. New coach. They are playing with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. They played a tough schedule. They have a point guard, Brianna McQueen, that can really push the pace. They have some really guard-like players all over the floor, which will make it very important for our post players in particular to be down in the stance and play some great defense. And we are not going to have a lot of time to prepare. Got in very late last night from Chicago. Good victory there, but players will be off today, so we really got to focus in practice tomorrow. I'd love for a big crowd to come out Sunday afternoon for an important game against East Tennessee State. Need to keep this train rolling down the tracks here in the right direction, and we'll need a big crowd to come in and help us get a victory on Sunday.
Renee and Mikayla obviously had big games last night, but even before that, you said that they were sort of turning the corner in practice. I mean, when you say that, what are they doing that's different than maybe a couple months ago?
Well, the easiest way to explain it, I think for us, our modus operandi is just multiple things going on. It's a dynamic style of play, and you have to put multiple actions back to back when you're playing here. And so you can't get one task completed and kind of rest and wait for the next one to come along. It's moving very, very quickly. And players adapt to that at different speeds, and it's really the pace of the game that I think is the most difficult thing for them to acclimate to. And you just can see it as a coach. You can see it start to happen. It's difficult for them to get, but you can start to see little plays in practice where you can see, hey, it's starting to take place. And about 3 weeks ago, I started to see the corner being turned a little bit. And they're not where they need to be. And listen, they'll be much better a month from now. They'll be much better 2 months from now. A year from now, you won't recognize them. But last night didn't happen for Lene Harper because she was at home and it was some emotional homecoming and she elevated her play. That was a result of her practicing, and Mikayla too. They were huge in the game. But you can see them. They can put plays together. They can transition from defense to offense and back to defense, and you can just see it building. But last night was big. That we needed both of them, especially with the loss we'd suffered with Denisha. Somebody had to step in there and fill that gap, and the two freshmen were good last night.
How much can performances like that? They have a solid 3 weeks. How much can a performance like that sort of solidify in their minds how necessary that sort of effort at practice?
Well, it's very important for them to gain any confidence they can from the performance, but stay very humble, very hungry, and not let that performance give a sense of arrival. They just need to stay rooted in the fact that practice is where a player's made at Kentucky. That's where you get it. You don't do it in games, you do it in practice. And as long as they'll stay there, they are talented young women. But, I don't get any sense from them that that's not going to continue to happen. They're working hard and have been impressed with their consistency in practice. And as long as they'll do that, they'll keep moving forward, and we'll have two really good players on our hands.
Talking about Mikayla specifically, the way she's been asked to switch positions and that kind of stuff, how much has her basketball IQ sort of helped in that?
It helps a ton. Her basketball IQ helps a ton. She's a very intelligent player, very smart player, can run the point guard for us. And, Jennifer and Janae could play the two. They'd have a harder time guarding small forwards at the three. They couldn't play the post position. It's really unique when a player can play 1 through 4 and legitimately play the 1. We've been able to swing some players from the 3 to the 4, but Mikayla can legitimately play the 1, 2, 3, 4. And it helps us so much that she's smart and can figure things out. And you don't have a lot of players like that. Like Castine Evans is that way. You might have 1, 2 players. You're lucky if you have 2 on a team like that. But Mikayla's one of those players. And she can play the 4 because she can defend 4s because she's strong. She's not all that tall, but she's strong, athletic, quick, so she can guard taller players. And then she's really difficult for a bigger, slower player to guard her. So she just needs to keep working hard. We've got to get her up to speed on some of our offensive schemes at the 4. She's not quite as good at that, but that's just a lack of repetition. It has nothing to do with her intelligence. She'll get it, and I think she can be a very, very valuable player for us in that position.
Looking at the way that you guys won the last 2 games, it was as much about offense as defense, or more about offense than defense. You know, after the emphasis that you guys had in the offseason on improving the offense, how encouraging is that? And then also, I mean, the defense, I mean, what do you feel like needs to improve?
Well, the way that the games are being called, it's more difficult than ever to get a player to pick their dribble up. And one thing for a pressured defensive team that you need to be able to do is you need to be able to get players to take a couple dribbles, pick it up. Now you're into denial. Now the pressure's really hurting the other team. We ran into 2 teams in a row, Odyssey Sims. You just couldn't get her to pick the basketball up. Just very difficult, really talented player. And Rinko last night for DePaul. You just couldn't get her to give up her dribble. It was really, really hard. Both those kids could keep their dribbles alive. And so we had to score to beat those 2 teams. I think we still have a good defensive team. I think last night defense was important. We were able to get more stops than they were and won the game. So it's just going to be game to game. What can we do? I still think there's some really good defensive efforts out there. We didn't play bad defense last night. Trust me now. DePaul played well. DePaul has a good team, and I got home last night very late, put the tape in, watched it, and they made some plays. So I think that you'll see more scoring. I think just with the way that the game's being called, I think with the pace that we play and we're trying to push it and get extra possessions, I think you'll see some high-scoring games maybe with us. But our offense is strong right now, and we just need to try to keep getting better at it.
What is the reason why your offense is strong right now? How have you taken that step forward offensively?
Well, we identified as we looked, everybody is very excited about where the program has landed right now and where we are. But when you lose 3 out of 4 years in the Elite 8 and you lose 2 years in a row to the same team, it makes you sit and look, really, what do you need to do? And so, as a staff, we got together and looked at last year's tape, and the offensive execution, attention to detail just was not there. And that's where, a coach like Jeff House coming in, who spent nothing but time in the pro game on offensive, systems and things like that, has been able to come in and help all of us get a more clear direction on fundamentals and it's little things. It's not big things. We haven't changed the offense that much as far as sets and concepts. It's just been a stronger commitment to details, and it's been everybody in the program has bought into it and has really worked hard at it. And it's fun to watch a group of kids really start in June and just build up to this point. And we need to keep going, because I think with the way the games are called, you're going to have to score some points, because it's just difficult to stop really good athletes. And so we just need to stay at it every day. I would say this: our players have practiced really hard at it and have tried really hard and have watched film and have gone in individual workouts and all of the things that it's been necessary to get to this point. And so it's been really, really encouraging to see us take a step forward on the offensive end of the floor.